Hey, welcome back to another episode of Donkey Kong Country 3. Now it's time for us to take on Kaos, the final boss of the game. This is our second fight with Kaos, since you did fight him earlier in the game, but he's like, click, click, Kong's back! Click, bzzz. This time, Kaos will be victorious. Where is the creator? Where indeed is the creator? Oh! Can I get it? No. There we go. Why did he bounce forward? Alright, then Kaos's head flies off, and then he's like got this, what kind of looks like a periscope with like some really bad, like, he could probably use dry eye, because he looks like he's got some dry, sensitive eyes. And oh my, what's going on? Is that it? That was it? I only hit him twice. What a loser. Was this? It's Karul? Who would have guessed? Oh no, what have you done? My wife's going to kill me. I used all of her best pots and pans to make him. And then you just cast him aside. As if he were a stack of empty tins. I thought that was... yeah, dialogue. I thought that's what he was. Ugh, how dare you. Kaos was my ticket to world domination. And I'd have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Frickin' Scooby-Doo reference. I guess it just isn't your day, is it, huh, man? Well, you may have roasted my robot, but I am the Master Chief around here. You're not the Master Chief. And I recommended about time your goose was cooked. Yeah, it's because I'm Master Chef. Uh-huh. I like this final boss theme. Damn it! I like this final boss theme, but it's like, oh, duck. But it's not as good, in my opinion, as Crocodile Cacophony. I always forget you can duck under him too. But this is one of King Karul's crazy... Ow, what? I guess he was too low to duck under that time. Oh, come on. It's one of Karul's crazy personalities that he puts on to fight the Kongs. Because even though, I think in the Japanese version, they're like Baron Rule Karulenstein and like Captain Karul and all are all, oh my god, I'm on the wrong side, wrong side, wrong side. But like, they're all like brothers or something like that. But like, no, they're all supposed to be the same guy. And I remember like the Melee trophy. The trophy in Smash Brothers Melee, which, by the way, is steadily approaching it. The original Smash Brothers is steadily approaching its 30th anniversary. I missed. The trophy says that they're like brothers for Captain Karul, but that's not true. Once again, in the original... yeah, oh god, come on. In the original... English, which, you know, of course, this is a British-made game. There we go. They're the same guy. And on a weird aside, a weird topic, I always thought that this, like, plank of wood that you stand on, doesn't it kind of look like a graham cracker? Like, to me, they've always kind of looked like graham crackers. But yeah. No, I think it's just like a weird plank of wood. Weird flying plank of wood. But this fight isn't as difficult as like previous Karul fights. Honestly. I mean, the thing that just makes it tough is like you can't touch the floor. You know? And then he does this. This is like getting close to his final phase, if I remember correctly. It just kind of zaps on and off. You don't even really have to time it. Like, he'll just sit there for like, well, I mean, he doesn't sit there forever. So you do have to time it, you know, perfectly enough to where like he doesn't like recover. But at the same time, he gives you plenty of time. See? Plenty of time to like handle it. But like I said, it's not exactly as difficult as like previous Karul fights, but to be fair, as I've stated a million times in this playthrough, I played this game like anywhere from like 1 to 3 times a year for like 15-20 years straight. Because me and my family always had a tradition of playing the Donkey Kong Country games. So it would be kind of easy for me, I guess. That's what I mean. Oh, where'd you come from, kitty? Couldn't helped out a little bit sooner? Oh, what's this? Donkey and Diddy. Whoa, whoa, my head. What happened? 1 minute I was dreaming. Yeah, that's a weird name for Donkey Kong, isn't it? But the world's biggest piles of bananas. The next thing I was a power-crazed madman. Hey, don't worry, Donkey. Thanks to Dixie, it's over. I'm impressed. Better be. I bet even Cranky would be after that performance. Nope, not really. Yep, that's me. Right. You go this way, kitty, and I'll go that way. Would have hit a guy with glasses, would you? Yeah, the ending's a little weak in this one also. Like, I still love this game, but I can understand why a lot of people are like, it's not as good. It's a real hard follow-up when it comes to, like, you know, part 2. I bet you Professor Oak would be, like, critiquing the hell out of these photos, though, if he was here. Like, wonderful. You were close. Yeah, just your typical, like, you know, it's the credits. It doesn't really, the thing is the ending of this one, especially with, like, the ending theme that's playing now, like, it doesn't feel resolved, does it? Like, it kind of feels like there should be more levels, and there's like a whole other world, but it's a bonus world, you know? But I mean, if you look at, like, Donkey Kong Country 2, even if you don't do the bonus world and finish everything off and they tell you, hey, there's more to do, like, they kind of do tell you, hey, there's more to do, it still feels resolved when you beat like Captain Karul for the first time. Like, you could literally just say, hey, I did it, and that's it, you know what I mean? This one doesn't really feel like that. This one feels like there should be more to the game, you know what I mean? Like, and I can understand why some people are like, it's not as satisfying, you know? Like, it's not as satisfying because when you finish the game, it just doesn't feel complete. And who are these bastards we haven't seen yet? Cuff and Clout? We will see those guys. They're only in one level. We got Squeaks. Is this... No, Squeaks was in the first part 2, right? No, this is Sneak. Squeaks was in the part 2. This one's Sneak. It's a little too much like a real rat. Knick-Knack. Here's Sonic. Sonic. There's the spiders that I think could have had like springs for legs. Here's the linguins. Limguin. Those bastards. Like, some of these only appear in one level, which is kind of funny if you think about it, because with only a few exceptions I can think of, like in part 1, the only enemy that I can remember that really appeared in one level is a variation of an enemy you already deal with. Okay, so I can think of two enemies. There's the croc, like the rock croc from like Stop Go Station. And then there is the other version of Crusher that you can't beat unless you hit him with a barrel. Like, Donkey Kong can't even stomp on him. And then I think the Mincers are in at least 2 levels, so that wouldn't count. And then in part 2, Screech, which is like, you know, Captain Carul's version of Squawks, is in 1 level. And then the ghost pirate skeletons in Haunted Hall are only in that level. And technically, I guess you can claim... No, they're in 2 levels. I was going to say, technically, I guess you can claim the version of Cutlass that rides the roller coaster, but they're in 2 levels. Sorry about that, I let the screen go dark. I kind of thought it was like part of the game for a second. Big time bad guys. We've got Belcha, the barrel. Ooh. Then we have Archie. And others. This guy, Squirt. A lot of the bosses are kind of lame in this one too. Like, I don't want to be disparaging. There's Kaos, the final boss. I don't want to be disparaging about anything because like I said, I really do like this game, but I totally understand like why some people are just like, you know, it's not as good. Like, well, yeah, I don't think that's really in dispute that it's not as good. It's just like, also, you know, I want to know how he's flying without the propeller. I've always wondered that. But like, Baron K. Rulenstein, I've never disliked this game, but I do understand why people say it's not as good. But I don't think that means it's a bad game either. You know, some people would just say it's just outright terrible, but I don't think so. I think it just had a lot of, you know, shoes to fill, like Squitter there. Had a lot of shoes to fill, and big shoes to fill. And because of that, like, it was never gonna... people were gonna always be like, you know, comparing it to Part 2. Because, like, Part 2 is one of those rare sequels that's not just made by the company Rare, but it's a rare sequel that actually is like better than the first one, even though the first one is really, really good. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like the first one is the best one and then it gets kind of worse. We got the Brothers Bear, man. I think the only one that's actually really super distinguishable is Blue, isn't it? Because he's blue. Oh yeah, and there's like Benny and Bjorn. No, yeah, not Benny and Bjorn? The one guy's name that's white, Yeti, that guy, Blizzard, on the left, who might just be Bogey from Banjo-Kazooie. It would have been cool if they had, like, you know, put them together. I don't know why, but the bear pictures just make me think of Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know why, they just do. And we've not met Boomer yet. But he's been around for a while. Crucial Kongs. There's Funky. He's a cool guy. It's funny how the Kongs don't really play as big a role in this one either. It's really the bears, you know? Swanky's like basically forgettable. Swanky was always just Donkey Kong in like a different outfit. Wrinkly's to save the game. Cranky doesn't play a big role in this one either. Because he's just like at a spot you're never really going to deal with. Although there are a lot of funny dialogue and situations if you actually go through and play that. But it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth showing. It's not like at the end of Earthbound when I decided to like, you know, go back and talk to the more important NPCs and stuff. It's just like, it's whatever. It's not like it adds anything. It doesn't, you know, give you any hints or nothing as far as I remember. And then here's the actual credits. The Crazy Kong creators. Dur, 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 dur. You know, sometimes I wonder, because I know back in the day, a lot of people used to use fake names when they didn't want their names attached to something. It makes me wonder how many of these like names in a lot of these older games are like their actual names or not. You know? Well, there's David Wise, so we do know that. So I guess he did make a few tracks for this. But it just, I know, it kind of just makes me wonder how many of these are like actually like the real names, because like the Bughouse 9, that guy's a real person. I know that for a fact. Mr. Yamaguchi, Mr. Lincoln, Mr. Arakawa, and others. But K Kondo, is that like Koji Kondo? The S Farmer, the S Stampler, C Sutherland. Yeah, I'll probably open up the bonus area because I'm looking at the clock, and this is probably going to be its own episode if I don't do a little bit of something else. I don't think I'm going to play the first level of it because I know it can be a bit long, and I know it might be one that I might not even like really react, like, you know, commentate too much on, because it's like it takes a lot of focus, just like the last bonus area, but we'll see how that goes when I go to do it. So 88%, 2 hours and 53 minutes. And my rating is Cool Kong, but we're not done yet. So, yeah. So I will go in and open up the area. I don't remember, I guess like, can't remember exactly where you go to find out how to do it. I think it's Blunder, he says something about it. But we're not going to go talk to Blunder. So basically, remember when I said to doing the figure 8? To open that one, the gate, like, keep that in mind. So in this one, you actually have to circle these rocks. And you can kind of see there's something in the middle, right? Like, I think you have to do it like 4 times. Like, there we go. Like, somewhere between 1 and 4 times. And you get the Lost World, Crematoa, which may or may not be, I don't think it's Captain Cruel's destroyed island. We're going to save real quick. All you ever seem to do in these games is shoot. This is jump on that. You don't, I didn't get to see what he said. She finished saying. Sometimes the dialogue just goes by too fast. When crossing the jungle, remember to look both ways for falling monkeys. So, Boomer's bomb shelter. So the reason we've been collecting the bonus coins... Say, hello, Boomer's the name, blowing things up is the game. The rest of the folks have stuck me up in there. Something about being too dangerous or something. My brothers might be happy with those dull bear coins, but I'm only interested in the gold ones with a B on them. If you give me 15 coins, this beauty will primed and ready to blow them, and you'll see what happens when I call me Boomer. Fancy give me some of the coins there? Come on, have a go. Let's do it, Boomer. Good one, Kongs. Look at you bought 4 of those Boomer specials. Yeah, you can't get to the last level in this area until you've done the first 4. So that's that. But I'm going to call the episode here. Appreciate you watching. If you made it to this point in the video, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.